Welcome into the Week 3 Sunday Social Podcast. It's the start set hour with me and Dylan Clemons, my best friend. How are you doing, Dylan?
Doing all right, man. Still battling this cold, but I'm hanging in there, ready to give you some, or give the people some start sit help.
Some flu game advice?
Yep.
All right, but before we hop on into it, guys, we really do appreciate it if all of you could like down below. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the podcast. And if you really like, what you see and you want to get in contact with us, on a weekly basis, go to fantasy6pack.net/plans and join the Discord, man. We have so much fun there. I know Richard just posted some fun photos there now. I'm not going to, I don't want to ruin the fun here because you got to get in there to have some fun.
Yes.
But let's start it off here first. Dylan, why don't you take us away?
You go through your injuries real quick.
Oh, yeah, go through our injuries. I mean, you know what? Fuck the injuries. It's too early. All right, J.K. Dobbins.
Yep, go ahead.
I was just going to say, J.K. Dobbins expected to finally make his 2022 debut with the knee. You got Gabe Davis, who is questionable, but all signs point to him playing with that ankle. Then you got Dawson Knox with the foot. Velus Jones Jr., again, doubtful with the hamstring. Hayden Hurst is supposed to make this matchup against the Jets. And then we got DeAndre Swift, who is questionable with an ankle. He will still get his full share of workload. Same with Jamal Williams in the lineup. Then we have TJ Hawkinson. He is questionable with the hip. He had limited practices all week, but nothing suggests he won't play today. Chiefs ruled out Harrison Buckner, guys. If you got him, you got to go find someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs was questionable all week with an illness. He did not make the trip originally with the team, but now the Raiders are saying they flew him out privately, and he is going to make the game. So Josh Jacobs is playing. Although you do have Hunter Renfrow out.
Yep. And for everyone who picked up Zamir White, sorry.
You have to wait.
Within the last couple days, yeah. You got to wait.
All right. Jacoby Myers is questionable with a knee. It was looking positive for him to play this week, but is expected to sit this one out. So we're going to have to get him out of the lineups, guys. Then you got Jameis Winston questionable with those broken bones in his back. It says with the word being his injury can't get any worse from playing, he's still going to play. You got Alvin Kamara questionable with the ribs. He is expected to play, though. Taysom Hill, if you guys are using him. He's questionable with the ribs. It's not looking like he's going to play. You got Corey Davis questionable as well, but he is expected to play. Nobody cares about defense and fantasy football. Then you got James Conner here. He's questionable with an ankle. This is a game-time decision. This is about as game-time decision as it gets. So monitor that. You got Rondell Moore out for the third straight week with that hamstring. You got Randall Cobb is also questionable with an illness. That one looks like it's a game-time decision as well. Then you got Christian Watson, hamstrings questionable also. Sammy Watkins has been placed on the IR. So there is no receivers for the Packers right now.
Yeah, I saw you had a pretty funny tweet about Sammy Watkins yesterday. So go check that out, guys. At @be_Mike with 2 eyes.
Never ceases to fail.
Yep.
Then we do have the big name of the week, Justin Herbert. This one I don't know. He's questionable, and it's supposed to be another game-time decision, but I'm going to be honest here with this being a 3 o'clock game, late afternoon game. I don't know if you can safely say he's going to play. I think you almost got to go with your backup option here. Go and get a Jared Goff off the waiver wire. I know he's sitting there. They got a good matchup against the Vikings this week. That one, I have seen nothing other than it's being a game time decision. Chase Daniel took practice with the ones this week, so they prepared for any situation. And
the betting line moved quite a bit too, I believe.
So everything's pointing towards him not playing.
I know you have Herbert in our home league. Did you go pick someone else up and you're starting him?
Yeah.
Was it Goff?
It was Goff.
Yeah.
Now I was hoping here to get some more information before 12 o'clock.
You're not going to. It'll come out around
Yep. So pay
3:50
attention to
or
that.
3
Monitor
p.m.
that, guys. Just be prepared for it because that is a later game. You're going to be losing about 8 games if you wait for Herbert to be announced active or inactive. So just kind of be proactive instead of reactive. Then you got Keenan Allen here is questionable with a hamstring, limited practice. He's 50-50. That's what they were saying. You got Van Jefferson out on IR now. So Ben Skoranek is going to get some more targets.
Yes.
Leonard Fournette questionable with the hamstring, but it looks like he is going to play. You got Chris Godwin was ruled out with the hamstring. You got Mike Evans suspended for 1 game. You got Julio Jones questionable with a knee. He is a game time call, so that one's 50-50 again, it looks like. You got Bashard Perryman questionable with a knee, but it looks like he's going to be playing and being the wide receiver 1 by default. And then you have Russell Gage with the hamstring, who did not practice on Friday. So he is questionable. Quite game time decision for today. Jerry Jeudy seems likely he'll try to play. He's questionable with the ribs. And I think that covers it. That was awesome. A lot of fucking injuries. God damn.
Yes, it was. But let's go ahead, jump right into our questions here. First one we got from Aaron Smith, quarterback question: Rodgers, Tua, or Goff this week? Rodgers is going up against Tampa Bay. Tua is going up against the Bills, and Goff is going against the Vikings. Rodgers, Tua, or Goff?
Yeah.
Mike, who you got?
I go here. I know it's stupid. Safe as Goff, but Tua is appealing this week. The Bills do not have Jordan Poyer. They do not have Micah Hyde. They do not have Tre'Davious White. That secondary is just depleted against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, so that does shine some appeal to me. So if you want to reach for the stars, go Tua, but I think Goff is actually a safer play than Rodgers this week. And then running back is Breece Hall.
Yep, I think I go Tua for my quarterback, and then it was Breece Hall or Cordero Patterson for the running back. I would actually go Cordero Patterson here.
He's just not receiving the targets. That's the only issue.
Yeah, he might today, and if he's the main running back against Seattle's defense, man, I kind of want to get him. He should have had
5+ targets last week against the Rams. They were playing from behind the whole time. You know how many targets he had? 1. Sure. That is quite disturbing.
Next one from Mike Watson, half PPR: Jerry Jeudy, Tyler Lockett, or Garrett Wilson?
You throw Lockett out.
Yeah, I think you're fired. I'm personally firing up Jerry Jeudy a little bit, slightly over Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, you kind of. The injury scares me a little bit for Jeudy. I don't know if he's just likes getting injuries or likes sitting out, but I think I'm going to ride Garrett Wilson one more week here with Joe Flacco. Guy has 8 red zone targets, leads the league in red zone targets. They're playing Bengals defense that has been struggling. I go Garrett Wilson this week, but I think Jeudy probably rest of the season with Zach Wilson coming back.
Sure. Mike, why don't you pull up that live question we just got?
Oh, wow. Joe, when did you get that damn announcement for Kenyon Drake?
Is it Kenyon Drake? I'm trying to look at it. Yes, Kenyon Drake. He's inactive.
Oh, I'm upset. I don't even
just let me go in through the actives. This is from Underdog NFL. We got active: Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, Alvin Kamara, Jameis Winston, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Swift, T.J. Hawkinson. Inactives include Jacoby Myers, Taysom Hill.
Saw that.
And then healthy scratches are Kenyon Drake, Terrence Marshall, and Ronald Jones.
Oh, Drake is a healthy scratch with Dobbins, and maybe we don't get as murky as a workload as we thought.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to have to fire up J.K. Dobbins this week, boys.
And then we do got a live question from Bob. Who do I start, Stafford or Murray? Stafford has the weapons, but risk interceptions. Murray can run. It just came out. I absolutely love it, man. And I'm actually leaning Stafford here. Mike, we talked about it on Friday on our game preview show. Against this Cardinals defense and secondary that's just been picked apart the first 2 weeks of the season, I'm going to go ahead and risk it with Stafford. And I'm nervous with Murray, man. The offense doesn't look like it's as sharp, and it only looks good when Kyler's kind of, playing around with some playground bullshit and stuff. What do you think?
This is true. And also, to be fair, Bob Dole, the Modern Warfare beta has been out since last week, and Kyler Murray won against the Raiders. So, yeah, I lean Murray this week, and I'm taking my call. I'm taking my shot here. It's not the playoffs, guys. There's not enough pressure to crush Kyler Murray. The Rams defense is not the same as last year. They are struggling coming out the gate this year. I lean Murray this week, but this in this matchup, I like this because this is a good. I think your safe one is Stafford, but I think Murray will outscore Stafford if everything lines up. I think he finally rights the wrongs of these matchups in the past.
Okay. I hear you.
Joe, I
pulled it off.
I was just gonna say I've heard that too, but my one question is that kind of like makes me red flag is if he's only gonna have 12 carries, why would you have Kenyon Drake as a healthy scratch?
Mike Davis, man, he's that.
So you're gonna give Mike Davis the other 12 to 15 carries?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Man.
I
just give it to Dobbins.
let me take it this way. If he's limited to 12 carries and we've seen Dobbins run for 5 yards per carry, that's 60 yards.
We saw Swift take advantage of this last week.
Yep. If he happens to find the end zone with the 60 yards, that's a pretty solid day from your RB2. I mean, honestly, that's where you're starting him.
I think he will get the red zone attempts here. I think the Ravens want to get J.K. Dobbins involved often and early. I don't know how often, but I'm hoping early. Maybe a cheap touchdown in the beginning here. But I do personally like J.K. Dobbins just a little bit more with the healthy scratch of Drake. If Drake was active, then it's like, really don't want any part of him.
I hear you. Jumping back into our questions now. For my flex, should I start Kirk, Pollard, Pierce, DK, Jeff Wilson, or Rashad Bateman?
You got great options, my man.
I think it's Christian Kirk, man, with everything that we've seen so far.
Yeah, your safety valve there is definitely Christian Kirk. The guy's a top 10 wide receiver right now. It's just a matter if he can sustain that, which, I mean, the Jaguars been in great game scripts for him to be used a lot. Bateman's a little skeptical here. I think I lean either Jeff Wilson or Kirk, but DK is also, oh man, no, you're saying he's Kirk this week. Play DK though if you want to reach for the stars. He plays the Atlanta Falcons. I think this is finally the week he has a good week against them, because those first two matchups weren't the best. Falcons are bottom 5 in allowing receiving yards this year. So,
next question we got: Thomas Morris, Kyle Pitts, or Gerald Everett?
Don't overthink it. You go Pitts. Same with you, Dylan. Go Pitts.
Oh yeah,
I know that you have the same situation.
Craig Sherwood, Gabe Davis, or Christian Kirk, I'm assuming.
That one's a good one here because you got one of those wide receiver 2s that have wide receiver 1 upside, but you have a wide receiver 1 currently right now. I got to see the matchups here. We got Jacksonville against the Chargers. They have good slot lineups with the corners. Oh, man, that one's a tough one. I think I'm going to lean Gabe Davis. I lean Gabe Davis against the Dolphins because you're going to have Xavier Howard shadowing Stephon Diggs, giving Gabe Davis majority of the single coverage. I like Gabe Davis over Kirk this week.
I think that's where I lean as well. I like the upside in Gabe Davis for sure this week. Next one we got from Carter. We got a tight end question: Evan Ingram, Irv Smith, or Dawson Knox? I'm going Evan Ingram, man. He's seeing the targets. They shouldn't be winning this game. So there should be even more volume heading his way. That's kind of what I'm hoping for with Travis Etienne, him getting some balls in garbage time in the passing game and stuff. What do you think?
You toss out what was his name? You toss out Dawson Knox. He is just struggling way too hard right now.
We said we knew regression was coming in the tight end department for Dawson Knox, man. He's got 1 red zone target in 2 games too, so
it's not great.
Mm-hmm.
I Your safety here is Evan Ingram. The guy he was the leading leader for targets last week for the Jaguars, even over Kirk. So the routes and the volume is there for Ingram, but Irv Smith is the one that caught the touchdown last week and could have had 2 touchdowns. So I think your safety plays Ingram. If you're you played a Nick Chubb and maybe a Najee Harris this Thursday, play Irv Smith, but Ingram's the safe one.
We got a live question here. Logan Thomas or Irv Smith? Should I sit Justin Herbert with the ribs? Dion, if you're here, just comment back to see who your other options are instead of playing Herbert. But I would probably lean to playing someone else over Herbert because it's a little sketchy. Hopefully, maybe someone on your waiver wire is a late afternoon game as well. So then you could wait to find out if Herbert's inactive. If he's active, you're starting him for sure.
Yes. It's just being the 3:00 game. It's difficult because he's not going to get activated until 8 games are started already. So it really cuts your options down, especially being that one of those early games is Jared Goff, where he's probably sitting on the waiver wire for you.
Sure. But your tight end question, Logan Thomas or Irv Smith, I think I'm going to go with the better offense and go Irv Smith here.
I would go with the better offense here, but Logan Thomas, he did get quite a amount of targets last week. I was shocked with the amount of targets he got. Give me 1 second. Washington. He had 5 targets last week, and he had 6 the first week. So we got 11 through 2 weeks. That's a 13% target share. It's not phenomenal, but that's good for a guy off the waiver wire. Irv Smith, he's like we did say he's a little bit more touchdown dependent. I do lean Irv Smith because it's the better offense. You go for the touchdown upside with these type of guys. But Logan Thomas is seeing more volume than expected.
Yeah, for sure. Next one we got is Justin Herbert or Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a noon game, so you got to make that decision. And I think I would go with Derek Carr because it's a good matchup, and we've seen him put up numbers. That's where
he's not been phenomenal this year, though. He still hasn't even finished as a QB1. See, this is the tough call because the injury here. I think you play it safe and you got Carr, but I'm not excited about it because you might get Herbert active. But you can't play, chicken with these injury announcements here because you can get screwed. And you could be forced to throw a Daniel Jones in there on a Monday night if you don't get that update early enough.
Yeah. Next question we got from Brian McCormick. Same, another Herbert question. Should I roll with Herbert? Picked up Cousins. The late start and injuries are pushing me to start Cousins. I'd start Cousins, man. He'll be fine against Detroit's secondary. It's been picked apart the first few weeks. What about you, Mike? Do you lean Cousins over Herbert as well?
Cousins over Herbert. Yeah, again, it's the injury. It's the main thing. I would go Cousins just as safety. I hate it because I am a Herbert owner.
We got a question here from Jason. What up, man? Full PPR. Are you going to Akers or Pierce? I know we're both Bears fans, man. I know we've both watched this run defense the first 2 weeks, and I think you go Dameon Pierce here. I could see 20 touches from him and finding the end zone pretty easily. Sorry, 15 to 20 touches, I would say.
I do lean Pierce here, and it's just by a little bit, only because we saw Akers getting more involved last week. It's just we don't know what they're doing in that Rams backfield yet. We kind of have a little bit more of an idea of what they're doing in Houston's backfield with Dameon Pierce. He gets the majority of the rushing workload. It's just that passing workload we got to worry about.
Yeah. Yep, I agree 100%. Next question we got, Tyler Higbee or George Kittle? Mike, are we buying into the targets that Higbee see in the first few weeks?
I'm playing Kittle? George Kittle this week. He's finally healthy. They let him, sit for the first 2 weeks, which is good. If they would have rushed him back early, it would have been a little bit more concerning. Plus, you got Jimmy Garoppolo throwing on the ball. It's not Trey Lance. I like the volume to Higbee, but I lean George Kittle when he's healthy.
It's 100% makes sense, but I actually think I go Higbee. I'm buying into the targets against that terrible Arizona defense. So Next one we got from Thomas Francis, Cortland Sutton or Rashad Bateman, a half-point PPR league.
Sorry about that. I had some cough in there. Man, I go Sutton still. I like Sutton. The volume here is just a little bit more than Bateman. Bateman was salvaged long touchdown last week. I know you said on our podcast we kind of whiffed with Bateman and Lazard for our buddy Sean, but again, I will say it again. That one touchdown of 75 yards is taken away. We did not make that whiff. So it seems like Bateman needs that long touchdown to become more relevant than Sutton. So I'm taking Sutton.
I lean Sutton as well. Next one we got, start Michael Thomas or Deebo Samuel, full point PPR. They'd be in full point PPR. I think it's Deebo, man.
I was gonna say don't overthink it here. You play Deebo Samuel. We're in the same situation as last year with Jimmy Garoppolo again. They're gonna get him those touch passes, those rushing attempts. I love Michael Thomas this year. He's a full-fledged wide receiver too, just like we thought. I thought he would be. But Deebo Samuel with his ceiling is still a wide receiver. Why play him over Thomas?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Everything you said there.
Good options, though.
Yeah, for sure. We got a flex question, half PPR. Miles Sanders, Jeff Wilson, AJ Dillon, J.K. Dobbins.
All right, half point PPR.
Everything wants me to say AJ Dillon.
Don't say it. I knew you were gonna fucking go that out.
But it's a tough matchup against the Bucs front, man. They're pretty decent.
He's gonna have one of those games where it's gonna be like a 12 to 15 rushing attempts for probably 50 yards.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, I know
pretty decent. And I also like Jeff Wilson, but there's always that hot hand approach from Kyle Shanahan. What if Jordan Mason busts off a couple big runs or something?
True. I know this is a typo here, but I'm curious to meet J.J. Dobbins. No, he definitely meant J.K. Dobbins there. I like J.K. Dobbins this week, but that snap count does scare you a little bit. But again, healthy news of the healthy scratch for Kenyon Drake. Kind of, it really pushes me more in Dobbins' favor, but I think the safer play here would be going with Miles Sanders or Jeff Wilson because of the matchup. We had, who was it? Who was the team? Dalvin Cook struggled against the Eagles last week, but that was because Kirk Cousins was just trying to throw the ball so fucking much because they got down early. You can run against the Eagles. I do believe so, because we saw Swift do it. And I know Swift is a little bit more talented, but half point PPR, this is such a tough fucking question. I go Jeff Wilson. He's going to get 15 plus touches, the most out of probably any of those guys.
Mm-hmm. We got a live question. Amari Rodgers or Brandon Powell, half point PPR?
Oh, yuck. Ugh. Man, I think you chase Amari Rodgers here because of the injuries to Sammy Watkins, Christian Watson, Randall Cobb. I think I lean Amari Rodgers here.
I think you lean Amari Rodgers as well, man. I think that's where you go. I'm thinking of sitting Brady in my other league. I do advise that, man. We got Winston, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff, Mac Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo are on waivers. What do you guys think? I think it's Goff. Yep, I wrote it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you weren't here earlier, I'm making the safe call of sitting Justin Herbert for Jared Goff. So I mean, Goff is a great waiver wire pickup to replace Brady or Herbert this week, or Rodgers.
I agree. I wrote about him in my start sit article over at fantasy6pack.net. If you want to go over there and check out why I think you should start him this week. I think I also said maybe you should start him over Brady because it's not looking good for Brady. All his weapons are down and stuff. So we got another one. Here we go, Mike. This is an interesting question here.
I go Dobbins.
Rashad Penny or J.K. Dobbins, and I think I lean Dobbins as well because Penny might only see 12 touches as well, because he's splitting with Ken Walker. Ken Walker's
Atlanta's run defense is a lot better than their pass defense.
Mhm.
And now that Ken Walker was involved, Penny did not get all of the receiving work like he did in week 1. So he's not getting all the work, just like we stated. So I actually lean Dobbins in this situation because you got more touchdown upside with Dobbins.
I think that's where I lean too, pal. We got Josh Palmer, Garrett Wilson, half-point PPR. What was the last thing you heard about Keenan Allen, man?
He was 50-50. He said he was going to try and play, but the last time he said that, he also was a late scratch in a game 2 years ago, I believe it was, when he tried doing that. So I lean Garrett Wilson in this situation. Even if Keenan Allen is out, Josh Palmer got salvaged by a touchdown last week. Garrett Wilson had 2. So you play Garrett Wilson here. Again, leads the league in red zone targets. 8. It's 2 more than Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I agree, man. Next one here from Drew. We got Swift or AJ Brown, 4-man league, full PPR. Okay.
Oh, my God.
The Lions are playing Minnesota.
Matchup. Yeah. Great matchup. Eagles play. Where is it?
I'm scrolling.
Commanders.
So they got a great matchup too. I think I lean.
Secondary sucks.
It is full PPR. I lean the wide receiver, man. I'm going AJ Brown.
If it's full PPR, I'm leaning Swift because Swift's going to get the rushing work and the PPR work. AJ Brown's just going to get the passing work. Yeah, he might have a 10 reception game, but Swift could have a 7 reception game on 15 rushing attempts. So he's going to get more total opportunities, I think, here. I go Swift.
Mm-hmm. Next one here, we got Christian Kirk, Brandon Cooks, or DJ Moore, full point PPR. Going Christian Kirk. Brandon Cooks is probably going to see a lot of Jalen Johnson, Mike, and I'm going to say it again. He hasn't been targeted in 2 games. I don't know if that says a lot about Jalen Johnson or if that says a lot about how bad the other quarterback is.
I just real quick. You use that stat for Jalen Johnson. He hasn't been targeted, which is great. I like it. Whatever. What about Sauce Gardner, man? He doesn't get targeted, and you don't give him any respect.
He did get targeted. He made a good play on last week. I don't remember if the touchdown got called off or not, Mike. You remember?
It got called off because the foot was out of bounds, so he still is yet to allow. So like, it's that thing where like, yeah, I do agree. You know, he's played a good enough coverage where people aren't throwing it, but you got to throw a little bit more respect towards Sauce, man. If you're going to be saying that for Jalen Johnson,
it's still Ahmed. Did you give your answer here?
It's Christian Kirk for me, and I'm glad that's the first DJ Moore question we've been asked, and we're about 30 minutes.
Next question we got from Landon. Would you start Kittle or Higbeef? We got asked the same question already. I went Higbeef. Mike went Kittle. I get the itch to want to start Kittle. You drafted him probably, 4th, 5th round, somewhere in there. So I get it. Start him if you want to, but I'm not shying away from Higbeef's targets that he's seen so far, man.
If it wasn't Kittle, I would go Higbee here. But when Kittle is healthy, he explodes and helps you win your week, especially when you got Jimmy Garoppolo throwing him the ball. It's not Trey Lance. It's not this uncertainty we're unsure of. It's Jimmy G. We saw him last year do it with him and the year before. So you go George Kittle, with him being healthy. But having Higbee as a backup is absolutely good.
Mm-hmm. Next one here, Mike. We got Jerry Jeudy, Jeff Wilson, Tyler Lockett, or Alan Lazard. Start one. Deluxe, if you're still here watching, can you hit us with like half PPR?
Yeah, something like that. We kind of just assume it's PPR at that point.
Yep. While you're answering back, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this one up there. Start Tua or Kyler Murray.
Ooh, I've leaned Tua this week because of the injuries to the secondary of the Bills here. It's going to be high scoring. Tua's going to have to throw. We might get, granted, I mean, I'm knocking on wood here because it's fantasy gold, but we could get a repeat of last week with the high scoring affair that Miami had with Baltimore because of the secondary being so bad for the Bills right now.
I go Tua as well. He's came back with full PPR, Mike. So once again, we got Jerry Jeudy, Jeff Wilson, Alan Lazard, full PPR.
Full PPR is where I tend to lean the wide receiver a little bit more, depending on the running back options here. And you got Jeff Wilson. He's not really a PPR guy. So being that it's PPR, I kind of throw Wilson out of here just a little bit. And
You
I'm
don't seem to
leaning.
be buying in the 11 targets that Tyler Lockett saw last week, are you?
No, I'm not. I mean, granted, they got a good matchup this week against the Falcons.
I mean, it's not as easy as it was, Mike. Like AJ Terrell's getting better. I'm gonna assume he's probably gonna be matched up on DK.
DK,
And then you got Casey Hayward and Tyler Lockett, which
Casey Hayward was injured though. I'm pretty sure. I'm not
okay.
100% sure he's going to play. He was injured.
Mhm.
And he is older. He's not the Casey Hayward that we once knew. So I do like Lockett's matchup this week. It's just you cannot trust and depend on his consistency.
Yeah.
It's going to be even worse than Russell Wilson was with him last year. Which leads me to, I think I'm going Judy in this case.
I do too,
because
that's where
he's a PPR monster. I mean, so when he was out, it was Sutton that was that PPR monster. But if Judy is healthy, they do get an even split here. You know, Sutton does get a little bit more of the volume, but Judy gets those deep passes, that A dot we love so much. Lazard doesn't get that.
Yep, I agree, Mike. Judy as well. Then we got another one from Adam. Hold on, Pitts or put in Everett. Let's wait another week, man. Pitts has got to go off this week against the Seahawks.
I wouldn't say he's got to go off, but I mean,
we got to see
he's going to have a better week.
We got to see some 8 to 10 targets going Kyle Pitts' way. 5 catches and a touchdown, please. Let's see it.
The squeaky wheels should get greased this week. I mean, with all the questions.
We got another one from
that's a good start.
Russell Wilson, 16-4 against the 49ers with the struggles this year. Do you sit him?
That's a good stat, Dion. I like that. I do not sit Russell Wilson against the 49ers. It's a new coaching system. We saw it last year with the Rams with McVay and Stafford. And Stafford's, in my opinion, a lesser quarterback than Russell Wilson, talent-wise. They struggled in the beginning of the year, too. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the Broncos are struggling right now, but they eventually got it together. You still go Russell Wilson.
Yep. We got a next one here from Nickel Pickle. I like it, man. Chris Olave or Darrell Henderson Jr. at the flex. I wish we knew if it was full point PPR or half again, man. If you could comment back and give us a little help with that, because I think it does make a difference here. If it's half PPR, I'm going Darrell Henderson, I think, Mike. But if it's full, I think I'd go Olave.
I think I lean Henderson in both situations if it's PPR and full point PPR, only because of the matchup against the Panthers defense.
It's nice.
The Panthers pass defense is not, it's middle of the pack. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's nothing to snooze over, but you know, Chris Olave is not going to get all those air yards he got last week against Tampa Bay. And I do believe Darrell Henderson, he's a safer play here.
Yeah. If you're into the air yards and stuff.
If you're into the air yards.
Another one from Adam. Cortland Sutton, Michael Thomas, Curtis Samuel, pick one, PPR, Mike LaPlant. Where are you going here? It's Cortland Sutton for me. That's pretty easy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but Samuel, I mean, the way he's getting the volume, man, it's manufactured touches too. It's not just lucky. It's definitely appealing. But yes,
I hear you. But Sutton's getting a ton of targets. He's getting a ton of air yards as well, man. He is Russ Man's deep ball, and it's just a matter of time until he catches one.
Judy is the deep ball. He's more Cortland Sutton, more of the he's more of the PPR guy. I mean, we saw it with, do I got to pull up the targets here? I know Judy didn't play. I know Judy played only a little bit week 2, only had 3 targets, but Sutton had 11, and then the week before when they both played, they each had 7. So,
right.
It's Sutton.
Yep, I agree. Go back to our other questions we got here from Megan. Brandon Ayuk, Mecole Hardman, Metcalf, and Samuels. Which one sits?
Which one sits? Okay.
It's
Hardman.
Mecole Hardman. Yep.
That's Hardman, yeah. That one's an easy one.
1 second.
No problem.
From Dave Clark, full PPR start to Allen Robinson, Jeff Wilson, Rashad Bateman, James Robinson, Dameon Pierce, Gabe Davis. 1 wide receiver, 1 flex open. I think you get Gabe Davis in your lineup, man. And it's full PPR, Mike. I'm leaning either Allen Robinson.
You put Gabe Davis in.
Yes, I'm leaning. It's Rashad Bateman or Allen Robinson for me. As my second
your flex.
Full PPR. I think I lean Rashad Bateman, man. I think he's got a little bit more upside with I know you don't like banking on the big plays, but he's got that big play ability, Mike. And if a few more targets come his way, he still could have a big day. So I think I'm going to go Bateman there over Allen Robinson slightly.
I mean, he got 7 targets last week. He got 5 the week before, so he has 12 through 2. Believe it or not, I mean, that's a 20% target share. So it is, your wide receiver 2, fringe wide receiver 1 target share value for him. It's just, it's not a lot of volume here. You're betting on a small pie, where I think, a small pie here. I think I lean Allen Robinson over Rashad Bateman. I go Gabe Davis and Allen Robinson.
Right on. I understand that too. Yes, sir, Adam. Let's ride.
Let's ride. Unless it was week 1, it's left wide.
Got another one from Dion. Garrett Wilson or Tyler Lockett? I think Mike and I are going to be on the same page here. I think it's Garrett Wilson. Yep.
I will say it once again. 8 red zone targets, leads the league. 2 more than Jamar Chase.
Yes, that's nice, man. Like you said, Mike, manufactured touches. Those are fade routes that they know they're going to get hit. The target's going to be there, Yep. We got another one from Richie here. J.K. Dobbins, Michael Carter, James Conner, start 1. This is a tough one and a good question here, man.
James Conner is 100% game time decision, and the one thing with him is I'm worried about him re-injuring it, and then all of a sudden, because the Cardinals have no problem throwing Darrell Williams or Eno Benjamin in there to replace Conner if he is injured. Man, I do like in this situation a little bit more J.K. Dobbins, but I can see your want to start Michael Carter with the volume for passing. I lean J.K. Dobbins this week. I'm calling it. I'm going with it. Kenyon Drake's a healthy scratch, man. Ride it.
I'll lean with you, Mike. I'll go J.K. Dobbins. I don't love it, but
if James Conner was 100% healthy, it's Conner, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not. That's the only thing.
I think I go J.K. Go back to our questions here. From Sean,
second one.
DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. Yep, half white PPR. It's DJ Moore for me.
No, it's Curtis Samuel, guys. I don't trust DJ Moore. Curtis Samuel's getting more involved than DJ Moore. What do we got? Curtis Samuel has 20 flipping targets through 2 games, guys. Let's go look at DJ Moore. Carolina, he has 12. Robbie Anderson has more targets through 2 games than DJ Moore. I believe you go currently Curtis Samuel until the fucking Panthers can figure it out.
And then we got from Timothy, we got Lamar or Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. That's a good call, though. I don't know how you got those 2 QBs, but congratulations.
Right. And then Mike,
Jalen Hurts, man.
I just got a DM from a buddy of mine. I'll answer. I think it's Lamar, actually. But I just got a DM question here. Stafford or Cousins?
Stafford or Cousins? I go Cousins. He's got a great matchup against the Lions. Lions are terrible against the air this year. They let Carson Wentz go QB3 on him. I mean, what's more do I need to say?
Yeah,
it's Cousins.
Right. Yeah, I think it's Cousins as well. Then we got DK, Jeff Wilson, Jahan Dotson, or Darrell Henderson. Pick one.
DK. Ah, man, Dotson's in there too.
It's not Dotson. It's not Dotson. I can't buy it.
It's not Dotson, but I like that. Well, I told you, man, he is on the field the most out of all Commanders wide receivers. So if you're out running a route, you're going to score a large amount. It's DK Metcalf for me.
Same. Next one we got from Mike Royball. Dallas Goedert or Kyle Pitts? Leaning into it, man. Kyle Pitts. Yep.
I will say it is a struggle rest of the season who you'd rather have, but I'm still banking on Pitts right now.
Mm-hmm. We got one from Royce here. Do I bench Keenan Allen? I have Tony Pollard and Patterson on the bench.
I go off of precedence here with our players, and like we said, Keenan Allen had that he was going to play before in the past, and then got a late scratch right before the game. So I don't trust his words. I think I lean Patterson here.
Mm-hmm. I think that's where I was leaning to. Mike, how about you take over some questions here as I share some stuff?
All right, sounds good. All right, Al, with our next question here, he wants to know, are we going Tua Tagovailoa or Kirk Cousins this week?
That one, I'm going to lean Kirk a little bit, slightly.
That one is a good choice here. I like Kirk's matchup against Detroit. I really do. But I lean Tua here because of the injuries to the secondary. I think Tua might be running around a lot. He might get sacked a lot today, but I don't think there's going to be any coverage sacks. It's going to be all, the pass rush getting to Tua, if anything. I don't think these, Christian Benford, he's not going to be able to lock down fucking Tyreek Hill like he did Cooper Kupp a little bit. Jalen Waddle, I think these receivers are going to go off against this depleted secondary, so I go Tua. But then his next question here is Hawkinson or Higby?
It's Higby, man.
Man.
Hawkinson's not the guy, man. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown in that offense. I mean, I get it. Higby's not the guy either. But I'm chasing the volume. I mean, I know Hawkinson's seen 7 targets in each game. Higby's seen, 11 and 7?
Higby has seen 11 and 9, 20 through 2.
11
second
and
most.
9.
Oh, man. I like Hawkinson, though. He's consistent. Higby has been getting showered with PPR, but that's also because Allen Robinson's been struggling also. I can't see Higby being a part of this offense like he is the rest of the season. I lean Hawkinson. Eventually, Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to get that double coverage. I mean, they just don't respect him yet.
That guy's nasty. We got a live question, Mike. Kirk, Bateman, Samuels, pick 2. It's Kirk and Bateman for me. I'm assuming it's Curtis Samuel, Richie.
Yep.
And not Debo. So yeah, I'm Kirk and Bateman here.
All right. This is the one time I will actually take Bateman. Samuels will have to match up against a tough Eagles secondary where Bateman only has to play where is it here? The New England Patriots, and their secondary is not very good. So I go Bateman and Kirk.
Yep.
All right. On to the next. So we got a 12 team here, PPR flex. Going Tony Pollard, Travis Etienne, or Breece Hall? I know your answer.
It's Travis Etienne, man. Still doing it. I'm giving him one more week. I'm an owner everywhere, guys, so I know exactly the pain. I'm starting him over Dameon Pierce just because I will literally hate myself as Travis Etienne finds his way into the end zone this week. I won't be, and I have him on my bench. I won't be able to live with myself. I'm sure you get that. I'm sure you get what I'm saying, Mike. And yep. I'm sure you have those players somewhere who's been struggling, and if you sit them on the bench and they go off, you're not going to like it. You're going to be upset at yourself.
And Etienne is one of those guys you drafted early in drafts where you would be upset with yourself. My only thing here is Etienne. He looks like he's going to be a game script dependent running back.
Yes. That's exactly what I was saying on the podcast on Friday, my man.
And this is going to be, but here's the thing. If Herbert plays, it's going to be game script dependent in Etienne's favor. If he does not play, though, I lean Breece Hall. So, I mean, if Herbert's not playing, it's not going to be a play from behind game, I don't think. That's the whole problem. So in that case, I'd go Hall. But if Herbert is playing, I go Etienne. It's weird how that's the deciding factor for him.
I hear you, though. I hear you for sure.
On to the next. We got Jorge here, full point PPR. He was just real quick offered Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders. He wants Saquon and Burrow. Don't do it. Jalen Hurts can be a league winner quarterback this week or this year. Then we got Griffin, he wants to know Gerald Everett or Zach Ertz.
Gerald Everett.
I lean Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is the second target in this offense throughout 2 games so far. He's got 15 targets. Only 2 less than Marquise Brown, 2 more than Greg Dortch. So I go Zach Ertz here. And then his next one, he wants to know this one. Do you ever think you'd say this? Brady or Wentz?
And it's Wentz, man.
It's Wentz. I'm playing Wentz this week. I'm sitting Brady, man.
Oh,
2 back-to-back weeks for QB3 finishes for Wentz.
We got a live question, Mike. Pick 2. Brandon Cooks, Keenan Allen, MT, Gabe Dave. It's Gabe Davis, and it is Michael Thomas.
I know you're afraid. You're afraid of Jalen Johnson matching up on Brandon Cooks here. I'm afraid of Keenan Allen not playing. So it's Michael Thomas, Gabe Davis.
Agreed. Thanks, Richie. You rock, man.
No, you rock. That was a great question.
Okay, where do we got here? Next one, Mike. We got flex. Let's go with Greg Felix here. I'll let you take us away again.
All right. Greg Felix here. Flex, Javonte Williams, Antonio Gibson, or Allen Robinson?
This is a tough one.
Well, this is that whole situation of that you gave for ETN. You drafted Javonte early here. I think you got to stick with him because of how early you drafted him. There is, potential there with the targets, but it's not the full, split. We expected Melvin Gordon to be, eaten into his workload. So I think we go Javonte this week. But I do find Antonio Gibson appealing.
Yeah, I'm with Javonte as well.
You got to go Javonte. It's just too early. It's one of those ones. Kyle Pitts, Travis Etienne. You got to play him.
Yep.
On to the next though. Josh King wants to know Curtis Samuel, Juju Smith-Schuster, Chris Olave, or Nelson Aguilar. Start 2 full point PPR. It's Curtis Samuel for sure.
And Juju, I think. I know I don't love any of the, which is weird, man. I don't love any of the Kansas City pass catchers outside of Travis Kelce because Mahomes is just going to spread it out everywhere. I know we got all excited about Juju seeing those targets early in game 1, but then they just haven't been there,
Yeah.
But I still think it's those two. I think it's
it's gonna be what the defense gives them. I mean, Juju's only getting a 15% target share. It's the same as Marquez Valdez-Scantling, except one can catch the ball, one can't. So I think I do lean Juju a little bit over Olave here, but it's mainly because I think Juju has potential for more volume in this game where Olave has a tough matchup against the Panthers, where the Colts defense is not as good as we thought it was going to be this year.
Right. Not yet, anyways.
Not yet. Yep. Next one here, we got Justin. He wants to know, does he
Not really a question, Mike.
Yeah, okay. This is why I don't read questions. Full disclosure, I'm illiterate. I'm a step above illiterate. So I can read numbers, not words. TK wants to know, start 3 wide receivers. Michael Pittman today, Gabe Davis, AJ Brown, or Curtis Samuel. That's one where you can't overthink it. You got to play your studs, Pittman, Gabe Davis, and AJ Brown.
Yep, for sure.
You got good depth, though, with Samuel. All right. We got Rick here who wants to know David Montgomery or James Robinson. Don't overthink it, my man. Yeah, don't overthink it. J-Rob, if ETN is game script dependent, so is J-Rob.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Montgomery, decent matchup against Houston, man. Their defense doesn't scare anybody.
All right, we do have a live question here. Ryan wants to know Antonio Gibson or Cordero Patterson, full point PPR.
I actually had in the Yahoo League, Mike, this morning, I was debating these two as well. And I ultimately went Antonio Gibson, yeah.
I lean Antonio Gibson here a little bit more just because he's going to get more rushing volume, I think. Granted, it's game script dependent again with him. And then Patterson, it's very discouraging not seeing that PPR work, but Antonio Gibson is getting targets. He has 12 through 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So Gibson. Two. All right, here. Another question. We got JJ wants to know James Conner or Gabe Davis in the flex. Both injured. One's a game time decision, and one's expected to play. So I'm going to go with the one expected to play, and that's Gabe Davis.
100% it's Gabe Davis for me as well.
And then we got George here. He wants to know, should I play it safe and sit James Conner and plug it in like a Travis Etienne or like a Tyler Algier? Not Tyler Algier, but if you do have an Etienne, you can play him, I think, safely instead of having to wait for James Conner, because James Conner is a game time decision as clear as it gets with that. So it's up in the air. It's 50-50.
Yeah, it's Etienne for me.
Yeah, it's Etienne. And then we got Kirk here. He wants to know Zach Ertz or Tyler Higbee. I'm pretty sure I want to say we got this question.
Yeah, we're split on this one, man. You went Ertz, I went Higbee. So,
yep. Until DeAndre Hopkins is back, I'm taking Ertz on that equation.
I get it. We got about 10-minute warning here, guys. So if you got any more questions, shoot them our way here.
Yep, we got one more live question here from Travis. He wants to know Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota. Man,
I think I lean Mariota, actually. Winston, that back injury, he went back to pre-LASIK Jameis last week, too, with the 3 interceptions. I'm scared away. And we've seen Mariota be competent, even without.
It's a tougher matchup for Winston, too. He plays the Panthers. Mariota plays the Seahawks.
Seahawks aren't covering anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Quandre Diggs is out, I believe I saw. So, and that's their best corner. So I lean Mariota as well. And he gives you a little bit of rushing floor as well.
For sure. We got another live question, Mike. Jose Vega wants to know Brady or Cousins? Kirky.
Give me Kirky, please. Sit Brady this week, guys. I know I said it last week because he played the Saints, but this is going to be worse.
Yep. Agreed. I've wrote about Brady as my sit quarterback in my start sit article the past 2 weeks, man. So over on fantasy6pack.net, go check it out. Appreciate it.
Shameless plug. No shame here.
No shame.
Andreas wants to know, he's got a flex 1.5 point PPR. Scary Terry, Gabe Davis, or James Robinson?
Gabe Dave.
It's Gabe Dave, and it's because Scary Terry has to line up against Darius Slay, who is looking like a fucking stud this year. He shut down Justin Jefferson to 2 catches. So, yeah, it's Gabe Davis. Nick says he can't figure out his last flex option. He's got J.K. Dobbins or Rashard Penny. He knows Dobbins will likely be on that snap count. But Penny, he's dealing with Kenneth Walker here.
It's Dobbins, man.
It's Dobbins. If Penny didn't have to deal with Kenneth Walker, it'd be Penny, but he does, and that's just the reality of it. J.K. Dobbins, it looks like they want to involve him early with Kenyon Drake being a healthy scratch. All right. Daniel wants to know Josh Jacobs is out. First, though, he's not out, man, but I do want to answer this question. He wants to know Etienne or Mostert. Full point PPR. It's Etienne in that situation, and I'm sure I know your answer as well.
It's Etienne. Yep. We got a live question, Mike, from Jose once again. Pick one for my flex. Full PPR. Thielen, Elliott, Robinson, Lockett. I'm digging the matchup for Thielen, man. This is the week that Mr. Touchdown is going to find the end zone and get back on track with him always catching touchdowns.
I lean Zeke in the situation.
You sick puppy.
I lean Zeke, but as stupid as this,
man.
I know. I don't know. Part of me, I'm appealed by Thielen, but I don't want to overthink it because I feel like we are overthinking it with the Vikings and Lions a little bit here, but I will go with you with Thielen. Zeke is appealing here for me as in full point PPR because he is the running back. He will get the rushing workload and some passing work, so that's why I'm kind of leaning Zeke.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next.
It's just rapid fire here for the last 5 minutes. But
Steve Garza, Judy, Landry, Russell Gage, Elijah Moore. All right.
Judy.
Yep, Judy it is. Start 2. Drake London, Michael Thomas, Cortland Sutton. Drake London has a prime matchup.
Yeah, he does. It's Cortland Sutton still for me.
Well, it's start 2. It's Cortland Sutton and it's
Ooh, okay.
I think it's Cortland Sutton and Drake London for me.
Yeah, same.
Because of the matchup. All right, pick one, full point PPR. Brandon Ayuk, Sterling Shepard, Treylon Burks, or Juju. I think it's
this one's Juju for me. Slightly over Brandon Ayuk.
I think that's Burks for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's Burks. He's shown a little bit more flashes these last week, so I do like him over these options here. But Ayuk is the other appealing one because of Garoppolo's there. We got Christian Kirk or Curtis Samuel at the flex.
Christian Kirk.
Yep. Tyler Conklin or Hayden Hurst this week, boys.
Give me the better offense, and I'm going to go Hurst.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Hurst, even though Conklin has gotten 16 targets through 2 games. Yeah, I go Hurst. Give me Hurst. Next, we got sit 1, standard scoring. Garrett Wilson, Brandon Cooks, Marquise Brown. Sit Brandon Cooks.
Garrett Wilson. Oh, sit 1.
Really?
No. Sorry. Yeah. It's sit 1. Okay. I thought it was start 1. Brandon Cooks. Yep.
Yep. Apparently I'm not the only illiterate one here. Flex Curtis Samuel or Damian Pierce, full point PPR. Full point, you go Curtis Samuel. If it was half, you got more of an argument for Pierce. I think I still lean Samuel though.
Yep, we got a live question, Mike, from Tommy. We got Tom Brady, Rodgers, or Goff.
It's Goff,
man.
I know I'm coughing at the fact I'm choosing him, but yep, it's Goff. He's got a good matchup, and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are going to be a part of probably the lowest scoring game this week. All right, damn it, I lost my position. I lost my spot here. Okay, which 2 do you want? Jerry Jeudy, Curtis Samuel, or Jahan Dotson? I lean Jeudy and Samuel.
Yep, same.
All right. Full point PPR. We going Aaron Jones or CEH? It's Aaron Jones for me.
Yep.
All right, and then we got this one. Don't matter with the PPR, but Mariota or Rodgers? I think we sit Rodgers for Mariota this week.
No, I think I'm starting Rodgers over Mariota.
No, I'm going Mariota. No, I'm sticking to it. I really do think Rodgers and Brady are going to be a part of the lowest scoring game this week. It's going to be, I can't see it getting over 30 points, really, honestly. It's going to be that bad.
Fair enough.
All right, Olave or Nyheim Hines in your second flex spot, full point PPR.
That one's Olave.
That one's Olave here too as well. It is nice being PPR with Hines, but Olave it is. We got a defensive question here. All right. Should he start the Ravens this week against New England, or should he add the Eagles, Giants, or Broncos? I say you keep the Ravens against the Patriots. The Patriots had a good week last week. That's because they ran the ball. That's the one thing that the Ravens are good at stopping is the run. As of right now, they can't stop the pass, but
I'm attacking the Eagles, actually, Mike. I think they got a better chance at turnovers with Carson Wentz throwing a couple to the other team.
This is true, but we saw this last week with Carson Wentz having those turnovers. With garbage time, he totally killed your defensive points.
This is true.
He killed your defense's points with that second half. So that's why I lean Ravens, because Mac Jones is not going to do that.
We got one more live on Mike, and then let's take us out here.
All right.
It's 11:30 Central Time, so we got one from Tommy here. Brandon Cooks or Alvin Kamara at the
I think that's Delvin.
PPR.
Is that Delvin or is that Brandon Cooks? I want to say that's Brandon. We'll go with Brandon.
It's Kamara.
Mm-hmm. But if it's Delvin, I'm going Delvin over Kamara.
All right, Mike. You want to take us out, or you want me to?
You can take us out. I introed us.
Yeah, it was Brandon Cooks. But yeah, guys, if we helped you today, please smash that like button. Please subscribe to the Faces Six Pack YouTube channel. If you like listening to us, LaPlant and I are going to do the Last Call podcast tonight, and it's a live stream at about halftime of the Sunday night football game, where we just quickly recap all the games, give you the stats, break it down just a touch. We try to keep that around a half an hour.
I wish the Monday night game was the Sunday night game because I would much rather miss the Dallas Cowboys Giants game compared to the Broncos Niners.
Big facts there, man, for sure. And then hold on, I was gonna. Oh, if you want to join the Discord and talk throughout the games with our fantasy six pack staff, go on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans and go sign up there. And like I said, you get access to the Discord, see our award-winning rankings. We have 2 guys in the top 10 right now, top 12, something like that.
Yep, Nick Spencer. Also, you'll get constant news and injury updates if you ever, need to monitor those situations. They are constant there.
But all right, guys, good luck in your matchups today. And for Mike LaPlant, I'm Dylan Clemons. We'll talk to you later tonight.